Hey, what's up you guys, it's Dorothy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go into chapter 79 of Swimsuit by James Patterson and Maxine P. So let's get right into this video. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, you can click off the video now. You have been warned. I constantly checked the recorder, saw that the wheels were slowly turning, a dry breeze blew across the sands, and a lizard ran across my shoe. Henry raked both hands through his hair, and he seemed nervous, agitated. I hadn't seen this kind of fidgety behavior in him before. It made me nervous too. Please set the scene, Henry. This was a country fair. You could call it that. Agricultural animals were on one side of the main path. Carnival rides and food were on the other. No breadcrumbs bin. This could have happened outside Wigan or Chapping Camden or Cowpit, Arkansas. Don't worry about where it was, just see the bright lights at the fairgrounds, the happy people, and the serious animal competitions. Business deals were at stake here, people's farms and their futures. I was 14, he continued. My parents were showing exotic chickens in the fowl tent. It was getting late, and my father told me to go get the truck from the private lot for exhibitors' vehicles upfield from the fairgrounds. On the way, I cut through one of the food pavilions and saw Lorna selling baked goods, he said. Lorna was my age and was in my class at school. She was blonde, a little shy. She carried her books in front of her chest so you couldn't see her breasts, but you could see them anyway. There was nothing about Lorna I didn't want. I nodded, and Henry went on with the story. That day, I remember she was wearing a lot of blue, made her hair look even more blonde, and when I said hi to her, she seemed glad to see me, asked me if I wanted to get something to eat at the fairgrounds. I knew my father would kill me when I didn't come back with the truck, but I was willing to take the beating. That's how crazy I was about that beautiful girl. Henry described buying Lorna a cookie and said that they'd gone on a ride together, that she'd grabbed his hand when the roller coaster made its swooping descent. All the while, I felt a wild kind of tenderness toward this girl. After the ride, Henry said, another boy came over, Craig somebody. He was a couple of years older. He looked right past me and told Lorna that he had tickets to the Ferris wheel, that it was unreal how the fairgrounds looked with the stars coming out and everything lit up down below. Lorna said, oh, I'd love to do that, and she turned to me and said, you don't mind, do you? And she took off with this guy. Well, I did mind, Ben. I watched them go, and then I went to get the truck and my beating. It was dark up in the lot, but I found my dad's truck next to a livestock trailer. Standing outside the trailer was another girl I knew from school, Molly, and she had a couple of calves with show ribbons on their halters. She was trying to load them into the trailer, but they wouldn't go. I offered to help her, Henry told me. Molly said, no thanks, I've got it, something like that, and tried to shove the calves up the ramp by herself. I didn't like the way she said that, Ben. I felt she had crossed a line. I grabbed a shovel that was leaning back against the trailer, and as Molly turned her back to me, I swung the shovel against the back of her head. There was the one loud smack, a sound that thrilled me, and she went down. Henry stopped speaking. A long moment dragged on, but I waited him out. Then he said, I dragged her into the trailer, shut the trailer gate. By now she started to wail. I told her no one would hear her, but she wouldn't stop. My hands went around her neck and I choked her as naturally as if I was reenacting something I'd done before. Maybe I had in my dreams. Henry twisted his watch band and looked away into the desert. When he turned back, his eyes were flat. As I was choking her, I heard two men walking by, talking, laughing. I was squeezing her neck so hard that my hands hurt, so I adjusted my grip and choked her again until Molly stopped breathing. I let go of her throat and she took another breath, but she wasn't wailing anymore. I slapped her and got hard. I stripped off her clothes, turned her over, and did her, my hands around her throat the whole time, and when I was done, I strangled her for good. What went through your mind as you were doing this? I just wanted to keep it going. I didn't want the feeling to stop. Imagine what it was like, Ben, to climax with the power of life and death in your hands. I felt I had earned the right to do this. Do you want to know how I felt it? How I felt? I felt like God. That is the end of this chapter. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.